Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just under 5 months away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and creator George Lucas that is all set and ready to end the Skywalker saga in a very unique way. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to deliver a lot of twists and turns that's going to make us view the past 8 Star Wars movies in a different light, where it's really going to change the Star Wars lore and the entire franchise as a whole, which honestly is a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, JJ and George, and exactly what they're aiming to do with this movie. However, I do have full faith in this film and what they actually have planned in order to end the sequel trilogy overall. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a standoff between both Kylo Ren and the Dark Acolyte, who is being controlled by the spirit of Sidious. It's explained that one of the sequences is said to involve a moment in which Palpatine initiates a current of Force lightning against Kylo Ren, where he is able to block it with his crossguard lightsaber. It's described that as this happens, where Palpatine walks close, his face begins to morph more and more into the facial structure of Lord Sidious himself, where his voice also begins to shift to Ian McDiarmid's. It's described that eventually Kylo breaks free, where Palpatine uses his Force Scream attack while spinning in mid-air with the same iconic scream from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. However, the scream is said to be modified where it lasts longer during the sequence. The next describes Kylo Ren being lifted and tossed in mid-air by Palpatine's moves, using the Force, where he throws Kylo Ren into a pile of rubble. This is where it's said that Kylo uses the Force repulse technique, causing a large shockwave that doesn't faze Palpatine in the slightest, where it's said that he begins to laugh at Kylo while giving him a lecture about the origins of the dark side, and a power greater than the dark side itself that manipulates Ren in the moment. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing that really intrigues me about Episode 9 and its third act is that we are going to be learning more about this power that is said to be darker and more powerful, if you will, than the dark side itself. Now, this power is said to be godlike power. I don't know if you guys knew, but the origins of the dark side were indeed created by the Wills themselves, as we went over a couple of days ago, from what's going to be explained in one of the sequences in the second act of this movie, one of which had all to do with the fallen Will that had to do with all of this. Now, this power that is said to be darker than the actual dark side itself is actually said to be quite overwhelming for almost any Force user out there, except for Sidious himself or any other being with that. So, with that being said, I also want to go on to this moment in which Kylo Ren is said to block the Force lightning that is initiated by Palpatine himself, where Kylo Ren is said to block it in his path, giving us a direct parallel to that of what happened in Episode 3. You can really see how J.J. Abrams is, of course, paying a lot of attention to the past Star Wars movies in order to really keep the "it's like poetry, it rhymes" rhythm of the Skywalker saga. You know, in Episode 3, we had the same exact thing happen between Sidious and Mace Windu. Now we have the same exact thing happening between both Kylo Ren and Palpatine. And as this happens, the Dark Acolyte's face begins to morph more and more into the original Sidious look, or almost like it, where his voice also begins to change into Ian McDiarmid's voice, which is very interesting because we do know that the Dark Acolyte is going to appear just like Matt Smith appears in, of course, other projects that he has worked on, except he's going to morph over time into looking more like Darth Sidious / Palpatine himself. Now, the other piece that also intrigues me is that there is a moment in which Kylo Ren uses a new power. Now, it's not a new power per se in canon. We actually knew about this for a couple of years now. But it is a power that Disney created, and it's called the Force Repulse technique. At least by name, this is the power by Disney. So this is the ability of one to cause a massive shockwave, where Kylo Ren is able to create a large shockwave in an attempt to knock down Sidious, where it's said to not even faze Palpatine in the slightest. So this is a great example of showing us how powerful Palpatine really is going to be in this story. Now, this is said to all take place where Rey is actually said to be knocked knocked unconscious in the background, on top of a piece of wreckage, which most likely, by the way, is going to be the Death Star 2 wreckage that we do see in the middle of the ocean on that unknown planet and/or moon. Now, the other piece that I think a lot of fans are going to be very excited about in this film is the fact that Ian McDiarmid himself, portraying Palpatine, is said to, at one point in time in this movie, manipulate Kylo Ren by giving him a lecture about the origins of the dark side. So this film really is going to deliver when it comes to the mythology of Star Wars. We're talking about Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, as well as a new medium of the Star Wars franchise that we have never seen. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.